Okay, guys, today we're going to be talking about how you can grow your business on Instagram. This is going to be mostly tailored towards small startup, or maybe you even are a mid-sized company, but you're trying to test out Instagram and its capabilities and if it's going to work for your industry. Because for some industries, it works better, and for some industries, it's not going to work as well. You may have a better chance with Facebook or Google Ads, stuff like that. For example, if you're selling basically, doctor services, you have an office and you're trying to get people to come in for that, then you're going to want to be locationally based advertising. So you're going to want to be on Google Ads. You're going to want to be on Google Search and Display Ads. You're going to want to be in that Pack 3 top, which we can go over in another video. And if you're trying to sell something like, t-shirts or software, stuff like that, then Instagram, Facebook, and maybe even Google too, but then you might have a better chance with these different, social media strategies and stuff like that. As far as like the doctor's office, stuff like that, it can be super helpful if you have a super engaged audience and you're a real fun personality and stuff like that. All of this is always going to be, as much work as you put into it and as interesting as you are, especially when you're doing online stuff, that's going to be what you get out of it, right? So for this first strategy, it's going to be relatively cheap as far as, the scale of how much you could spend on these different marketing strategies and stuff like that. And this is going to be a 3-step strategy. The first part is going to be your posting strategy. So for that, you're going to want to do obviously the 30 days of posting and your hashtags and all that. The reason that you want to keep it consistent is because if you stop posting on Instagram or YouTube, stuff like that, they'll ding your authority because you get an authority ranking for your account. So even if you're only getting a little bit of views or whatever, you're just going to want to keep that up. And especially when it comes to the later part of this strategy, which involves DMing, because if you don't have a high authority, you're only going to be able to DM a small amount of people a day. And Instagram's making that less and less every day to try to combat bots and stuff like that. So as far as this personal giveaway strategy goes, it's essentially you're making interesting post or video or carousel, whatever you want to do, and you could boost it with advertisement if you want, but especially if you don't have a lot of followers initially, you pretty much, you're under that 500 or under that 1K range. And then in the caption, you're going to want to put something like, attention, join the giveaway. We're giving away 2 free iPhones this month. All you have to do is tag 10 friends, send us a message for proof, and follow our account. And basically, if they send you a message, if you DM somebody on Instagram, they pretty much have to follow you because it's underneath the same button. I think there's a way to get around it, but most people just click it twice, and they just do it that way. So they're going to follow you and they're going to tag 10 people, and the hope is that those 10 people then go and follow you and tag another 10 people, and it's so on and so forth. So the duration of your campaign is really what's going to determine the amount of viewership you get with that sort of thing, and then whether or not you're pumping ads into it and stuff like that. If you just had a blank picture as well, it was just, a black picture or white picture or whatever, like most people are not going to click that. They're going to scroll by or whatever. They're not even going to read the caption. So you do want to make sure your image is also very easily portraying what you're trying to get across with the giveaway and stuff like that. Big text, giveaway, iPhone, and I'll throw up some pictures right here of the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Now, after you have your giveaway post, you've got your 30 normal posts that you always have planned throughout the month. Then what you're going to want to do is get them engaged, start increasing your authority with Instagram a little bit by replying to comments, obviously. Every person that comments on that post for the giveaway and for your other post, you're going to want to reply to the comment, because that's going to make Instagram see that as increased engagement, even your own engagement. And especially if they reply again, and that's going to make it get seen by more people, and you're going to be able to get more followers, likes, comments, so on and so forth. But the purpose of engaging with the audience is, one, for social proof, which is one thing that you definitely want when you're trying to utilize your business or personal brand to make money online. And then the second reason is going to be so you have that authority ranking so you can send more messages and stuff like that. So in order to get some good engagement, I have a list that I put right here. I know you guys aren't going to be able to see it very well right there, but carousel and video ads, those are going to be huge. So Instagram, when they roll out new features, they tend to promote that more. For example, they started to promote the story ads, not the story ads, but the story post, the IGTV, the carousel stuff, all of those new features they came out with. They started putting, right now it's IGTV that they're putting mostly on the explore page. And the reason is they want to keep users on the platform longer. So if you're making a 10-minute video on IGTV and you can keep the users engaged, they love that. So they're going to put that on the explore page, right? And if you're doing a giveaway with it, with that IGTV video, then you're going to get the maximum exposure because you're doing what Instagram wants. You're keeping people on the platform long, and you're getting a ton of engagement because all they're looking at is the numbers. And then aside from the carousel ads, stuff like that, you're going to want to do your story posts as well. Make sure you're doing at least like 1 or 2 story posts a day, and you can automate that process with the exact thing that Instagram's trying to stop with with the whole authority ranking and all of that. There are some different bots and stuff like that that I could show you guys. And then some different types of posts you could do are, you could put quotes, you could do some long form storytelling. If you see those motivational pages where they put random quotes and stuff like that, make it seem like it's from them. Or if you put, whatever picture you're going to put, and then you put long form ad copy basically, which tends to convert the best, but you're basically telling a long story about whatever, has to do with that post, and that tends to receive pretty good engagement. And then as far as, getting the post seen by more people, you're going to want to do long tail keywords. So those are going to be keywords that are typically 5 words or longer, like 5 to 8. And the reason is if you don't have a high authority ranking and you're trying to rank for photos, hashtag, girl, whatever, you're just not going to reach anybody, right? And then another thing you could do is interesting facts. That one's pretty self-explanatory. Conversational based question. So, hey, what are you guys cooking tonight? We are doing X, Y, and Z ourselves. So that would be something you could do if you had a food-based business or a personal brand and you were cooking that night. And then the other thing you're going to want to do to optimize those posts is tag a location. Ideally, you're going to tag the location the post was actually taken in, but a little cheat basically is you could tag a high population area like LA, Atlanta, Orlando, New York, stuff like that, and that's going to get you a lot of viewership. So after you've increased your authority ranking a lot with Instagram, then you're going to move on to the next part, which is essentially this is not something scalable. This is to test the waters and see, hey, can I make sales on Instagram? Does this work? And then if you have a high ticket business, you might be able to just pay somebody to manually do this. You could automate it with bots or whatever. Or you can run advertisements and stuff like that. This is mostly to just kind of get out there and test the waters, because if you're DMing people and stuff like that and you're not able to make a sale by literally doing all the things I just said, giveaway, and reaching out to the people personally one-on-one and saying something, that engages that person personally, look at their profile, see, what you can figure out about them and say something, more personable. If you can't make a sale doing that, then the ads and all of that stuff are most likely going to be pointless unless you can make a really good ad. So this is kind of just to test the water. So once you have that, social proof, you've got those comments, you got those likes, stuff like that, you've done the giveaway, so you've got a nice little base of followers. So when people come to your profile, it's not like you have 2 followers. Like any business or personal brand or anything like that, if I look and they have, 0 followers, like, oh, like, okay, whatever, right? But if you go there and that business has 10, 15, 20,000 followers, and then they're DMing you, you're a lot more likely to respond. Doing the giveaway method like this over the long period of time will get you a ton, but this one is a little bit cheaper because you're just doing it for yourself or possibly running ads to it. The best way to do it is to have a shout out network to where you can have them do the same thing, but then one of the rules that the person has to follow is that they have to go and follow your account. and that's the best way to do it. I can help you guys out with that. If you'd like, just reach out to me in my email below. I'm also going to put a free guide with the different ad copies you can use down below, 10 different ad copies. And I grabbed those from one of the blogs, but as opposed to having to read through the whole blog, I just grabbed all the pictures, and you guys can just download those, look at that, and kind of get yourself thinking about what kind of posts you want to do. But anyways, what I was saying about the DMing thing though is what you're going to want to do is go out there and at least DM like 10 people a day. You're going to want to do different messages, because if you do the same message, like I said earlier, Instagram's trying to block people that are doing spammy activity or bots and stuff like that. So you're going to want to reach out to those people, say something personable. You know, if you want, you could go on Fiverr and have somebody write 3 or 4 different ad copies for you, and then you could throw that into what's called a spin text editor or whatever, and it'll spin it up and it'll mix up the words and stuff like that, but try to keep the meaning the same. And then you'll be able to take all of those, copy, and just keep it in a notepad on your phone, the iOS app, the notepad, or whatever you want to do, Google Drive file, copy and paste, and then go send your 10 messages a day, a few different ones. I would do probably, you're okay with 5 of the same message. So every day I would copy and paste 5, and then copy and paste 5, send it out, and test that market over the period of a month or two, and you'll have reached out to, you know, a few hundred people. And if nobody's purchased at that point, then you may, if you have the budget, you may still want to try ads and stuff like that. But if not, it may not be right for your specific industry. If you have questions about that and you want me to just, you know, be able to answer, because there's a million different niches and industries and stuff like that, again, you can reach out to me down below. And yeah, that's about all I got for you guys for this strategy. I have a ton of different strategies for specific niches and for specific levels of advertising, because everybody's like, you know, when you're talking to them on the phone, the clients, stuff like that, oh, well, like, you know, what would you do? It's like, well, it depends how much you have to spend, because if you've got 100 grand, I'm not going to sit there messaging 10 people a day. I'm going to come up with a good ad for you to run, or I'm going to do the shout out networks, and that's going to enable you to jump 10, 20, 30,000 followers in a day or two. You know, why are you going to sit there posting for this long and doing the free methods that are going to take you a lot longer if you don't have to, right? So that's about all I got for you guys. I'll see you next time. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and peace.